Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I'd like to thank Civeco Romania for inviting me to this event, sharing with you with some of our thoughts and education plans of Egypt. I'll start with some facts that we have to believe before going to the presentation. Now, education is facing several challenges, such as revolution of science, technology, information technology, and so on. Our experience confirmed that education is the beginning of progress of any nation, and that was the case in Egypt. Using ICT, evolved Egypt, and our revolution, January 25 this year, was began with the use of ICT from our youth. We agree that education no longer resides only in classrooms. It has to be everywhere, from at the core of the education system anywhere. It's and performance of education from level 0 up to 9. Investing in education is not intended to deliver managers and leaders and support with capabilities, technology, but it has to ensure continued use and sustainable professional development for teachers, schools, and managers. Up to the level of the ministry and governorate working under the ministry. By focusing on education reform as one of the priorities or periods of Egypt after January 25th revolution, the Egyptian Ministry of Education rescheduled its policies as follows, according to the needs of students, teachers, and all people in Egypt. After revolution, everybody needs everything in no time, and he doesn't know how can we do this. We'll talk about 10 things which are the more important for us at this time. It doesn't mean that's all, but according to a time limit, will be restricted to these 10 things. First of all, the ministry wanted to ensure education opportunities for all, boys and girls, all levels, everywhere, all over Egypt. We need to reduce the gap between boys and girls, which is not a lot nowadays, but it was about 10 years ago, it was about 70-30, but nowadays we are talking about 55-45. We are working to eliminate the phenomenon of school outs. Also, our situation is improving day by day. We want to attack illiteracy and provide education opportunities for adults. We assume that adult is ignorant if he reaches 16 years old without education. Enrollment rates of girls now close to that of boys. As I told you, it's about now 50%, 50%, or 51, 49, something like this. Our aim is to raise the professional standards and competence of teachers at the core of the education system, as we believe. By the way, we have in Egypt about 1.2 million teachers. While staying their functional requirements, financial requirements, and other requirements like promotion from time to time. The situation of teachers before revolution or before the academy established about 4 years ago, they were complaining all the time from their salaries, low salaries. And this is the case in Egypt, not only for teachers, but for all employees, governmental employees. Recruitment of teachers was stopped for a period of time, 3-4 years, and after that we had started working with them through the internet, through e-applications. Some of our teachers are not assumed as teachers. Some of them are scientists, some of them are engineers, some of them are actually educators. And we have to deal with all of them as teachers as they go to class and teach our students. We had working for the last year to improve the teachers' status in all aspects. Motivate teachers to cope with things new and modern in the world to promote the education process and career development. Through training with our partners and from international companies like Civaco, of course, Intel, Microsoft, and other well-established companies. We are trying to raise teachers and education material on an effective system of bonus. And by the way, we have all subjects in E-form on our portal developed by the TDC, Technology Development Center, established in Egypt, 1996. We have introduced about 5 years ago the Academy of Teachers to deal with teachers are like professors in the universities. It's an expert house established to improve the standards of teachers, to improve the quality of teaching in our schools. It developed standards to ensure a proper performance at international level. And its importance comes in establishing a database of teachers in Egypt. As we have 1.2 million teachers, we have to have all information about them, their preparation, planning for their improvement for the future. Redefine the functions of the academy and provide mechanisms for its development. Consider the system of hierarchy of teachers and their skills. Planning for the competency framework for them, improving their quality, to improve the quality of education, which will impact the overall performance of the education system, to improve the country level. Designing the most important plans and training programs with help of other organizations like MCIT, Ministry of Communication, and other organizations and private companies. Here it goes now. Now we are working to improve the curricula to be implemented from the academic year 2012 up to 2013. This development is based on some fundamentals like curricular content standards set by the National Education, adaptation of the methodology of active learning, the integration of information technology and communication, integration of the full evaluation learning. As Mayor told, now all of our curricula is developed in E4 and available on the Ministry of Education portal a few years ago in different forms, as a book, multimedia, in some live labs, live classes. All of it is working. But actually it's not enough, because in Egypt we have a huge number of students. Not a lot of equipment are available in schools. We have about 18 million students enrolled already. We don't have a lot of computers and IT equipment. We are trying to change the traditional education method to another, using the most modern information technology in an efficient manner. We have all information on the portal, but we don't have a lot of computers in school, so we cannot access this content at school. So some of students cannot touch a computer within the academic year, but they have this content through the internet. So if they have a computer or internet access at home, clubs, anywhere, they can gain from our content. We have at schools about 277 computers. This is not the case. We have about 400 computers at schools. But as I told you, we have 18 million students. So the ratio is not applicable. We have developed about 450 curricula for all levels, from K1 to 12. We have equipped about 1,200 schools with smart boards. We are trying to increase the number of primary schools equipped with, which started a few years ago, but not a lot. Our schools, primary schools, have only 2 or 3 computers, which is nothing. But we are looking for the future way. We hope that our students' ratio will be 10 to 1 computer by 2015. I hope so. Our investment directed to the infrastructure increased only this year. It was last year about 280 million. This year it's about 150 or 480 million LE. It's about less than 100 euros. We are trying to collect more money, about 500 million LE, from others in Egypt, to have a whole amount of 1 billion LE. It's about 175 million, which is not enough. For this time, we are concentrating on preparing our teachers, as we believe that They are the core of the education system in Egypt or anywhere. About 500,000 teachers were trained to use computers and modern science laboratories. We have about 76 video conference centers that accommodate about 1,900 or 9,000 trainees at a time. We use this system for training of our teachers and students in some. About 35,000 students trained in programs for using first century skills with Intel, with Microsoft, with Oracle, and some others. Million teachers were trained on ICDL. Half of them had already a license because it's mandatory for them to be promoted in our system. This figure gives an overview of our buildings, schools, classes. We have about 400 classes from preschool up to K-12. Some of them are private schools, some of them are public schools. Some of the private schools and public schools are regular, and some of them are technical schools, agriculture, and so on. Now it's mandatory for all schools to be accredited in some period of time. Otherwise, they may lose from the Ministry of Education, like money, like attention, and so on. About 2,000 of them were accredited last year. We have also some community schools developed by the community, NGOs, and so on, to help the governmental system by providing education or some level of education for poor persons who were in Egypt. Concentrating on technical education. As in secondary level, we have about 65% of students enrolled in technical education. And they didn't have a lot of attention for the last period, and we are trying to give them more attention to be distinguished and able for better preparation to work in our market and outside market. Technical education is divided into industrial, commerce, agriculture, private, public. Some of them are dual system, some of them are traditional system. The overall number of public schools are 1,040. Total private schools are 224. Always you find in Egypt, public schools are much more than private schools. And we are looking for the inverse. We are looking to give a great attention to education and develop student skills and ensure good performance of technical education. to improve the management and administration, may help us a lot. Encourage effective social participation, promote decentralization by giving more opportunities for such students. We are trying to give an equal opportunities for quality education for all students of technical schools. By the way, from our point of view, education costs more and more than regular education or normal education. We are working about 1.5 years on decentralization, as we have about 45,000 schools, 1.2 million teachers, 18 million students, so we need centralization anyhow. We have 27 units in Egypt, started at first with 3 of them, applying the centralization model. Now the centralization model is applied in our all governments. Looking for better understanding of decentralization, which of course may take some time. We can live with some mistakes at the beginning, but we cannot cope with them for a long time because we have some limited resources. Local professional development of staff leading the process of working at local level, of course by continuous training. Organizing an outreach partner to create a public offering or support to education. Our general policy objectives are to transfer decision-making to a higher level of central services, which can be achieved by means of grant to the school and the education administration powers for decision-making, which was not the case 2 years ago. The decentralization is not only a dramatical goal, but also necessary for development of education system. If everybody can work with the system as an owner, of course we'll achieve better and better in the near future. Through the system, the school principal has to do some work more than before. And at this time, we are working to promote some new system for Egypt. A school of excellency or a school for technology, science and technology. For this year, we are trying, or the first 3 will start tomorrow in Egypt for boys as the first school from this type. Next year, the school will be for girls. We are looking for more and more schools from this type in the near future, but it needs money. At the end, I have to talk for some time about the ecosystem. I mean IT ecosystem in the Ministry of Education, which consists a portal which will be renewed within these days. Within 1 month, the new portal will be launched, up and running, in dashboard for the Minister of Education and decision makers, including teachers network on portal. Of course, for me, I dream that all teachers can provide e-content day by day and transfer knowledge and content, which will bring better content, quality education for students. We are working on teacher qualification by improving them through training, through involving them in competitions, and so on. The e-content developed and managed system we have it ago, but now we are working on it with the help of Civago team to improve the content and management. We have started developing it in e-form last year, and it is expected to be ready by year, inshallah. School infrastructure and connectivity, it's a big problem. I cannot imagine by day all of us have computers on hand. We cannot afford 18 million computers for all students, but we are working on the content and the common for all students, and they can reach it through anyhow. E-services and databases are available now. All our services now are e-service. We don't have papers. All of our work is done through the portal using our application. To do this, we need a lot of technical support in all levels, the ministry, governorates, schools, and so on. Regular evaluation for the full system to improve our plans and our future view. Finally, we have a lot of PPP joint projects with our friends to improve our system using our capabilities and resources. Many thanks for you.